Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Today, Frontier released new information on the upcoming mining update. Now this new information goes into far more detail than the recent LaveCon reveals. Essentially, mining is going to get a very large upgrade and it's all looking rather good. So here then are the details we have so far. The mining update, along with exploration update as well as squadrons and carriers, are due to arrive in Chapter 4 that is scheduled for the end of this year. Mining will be receiving a bunch of new tools and gameplay to go along with this. Now Frontier were quick to point out that this update will be additive, meaning that the current mining method will continue to work in addition to the new methods. So with Chapter 4, there will be 3 new types of resource deposits available. These are surface resources, subsurface resources and deep core resources. Each of these will have a different value, with the least valuable being on the surface and the most valuable being deep core. There's also going to be different difficulty ratings, with surface mining being the easiest and deep core mining being the hardest, as well as the most dangerous. In addition to this, their resources also have a different rarity value. Surface resources will be easier to find, they'll be far more common, and deep core resources will be the least common, so they're going to be a lot harder to come across. All of these resource types will be available in asteroids, and these will be contained in belts as well as ring systems. There's no talk of planetary surface mining. So where it gets really interesting is that each type of resource will have a different type of gameplay surrounding it in order for the player to collect it. This will involve a new HUD element called the analysis mode, as well as a new active scanner. Prospector limpets are also going to be getting a new update which will allow them to work with analysis mode. The new type of deposits will not be visible to the naked eye when first entering a ring system. Instead, there will be a discovery process, and this is where the new analysis mode comes in. All ships will be equipped with this tool by default, and it will actually be a new HUD element. Now there's no details on what this HUD element actually looks like, as it appears it's still in the design process, or at the very least they're still working on it. We do know, however, that it will be possible to quickly switch between the different HUD display types. From within analysis mode, it will be possible to use one of the new mining scanners called Medium Range Active Scanner, and this enables players to discover resources within an asteroid field. It sounds as though this will work very similarly to the megaship scanners, which have a pulse passing over the asteroids, or in the case of the megaships, the pulse passes over the megaships. In this case, it will pass over the asteroids that are within range of the ship. Asteroids that contain a resource will be highlighted. The closer they are, the more clearly they will be highlighted, but the further away they are, the more diffuse that highlighting will actually be. It seems then that this will likely force players to search the area somewhat in order to locate the resources that they're actually looking for. The prospector limpet is then used on these asteroids in order to determine the type of deposit that they actually contain. So once a player has this information, they can then begin the extraction process. Surface deposits will be partially visible on the asteroid's surface, and the player will use a tool called the Abrasion Blaster in order to dislodge and collect these resources. This is a hardpoint module that will be available in analysis mode. The module will fire a blaster shot, the strength of which will be determined by how long the player holds down the trigger. Surface deposits have a health rating, and reducing this to 10% will cause it to break off of the asteroid. However, reducing the resource health to below 0% will actually destroy it. So this means players will need to take care for collecting these. There's also an additional factor called the density value. That's on the resources, and this will affect the health of the surface resources, and it will also cause a multiplication effect on the strength of your shot. So this will be a little bit random, although there will be some of this information visible to the player, but it generally means that there will be some variety every time you shoot these surfaces. You won't just be able to use the same type of shot strength. Surface deposits will drop off a single piece of material once mined, and then will require a refinery in order to turn them into cargo. These type of deposits are hidden just below the surface of an asteroid and will require a different tool called the Subsurface Displacement Missiles. Again, this is to be a hardpoint module, and it will be used in combination with the analysis mode. It works very much like the current flak launcher, in fact, at least what Frontier is saying, where the projectiles detonate only when the player releases the trigger. Firing these at an asteroid will cause the pieces to drill into the asteroid surface itself, and the player will then have to release the trigger at exactly the right moment. Too early will be ineffective, and too deep will cause damage to the resources. It's also possible to destroy the resources with this method if you're not accurate enough. So, in order to successfully dislodge the resources, the timing will have to be precise. As the resources can be damaged during the mining process, this will actually decrease their value. So the better the player gets at this, the better the reward will actually be. Further, there will be diminishing returns on this method of mining, with the first mined resource actually being the most valuable. After that, there will be less valuable. We then move on to deep core mining. Now this is the rarest type of mining because there won't be that many asteroids out there where you can actually deep core mine them, and again this will require yet another tool. The seismic charge is another hardpoint module, and again it works with the analysis HUD. When a player first targets one of these types of asteroids with a prospector limpet, then fissures will be revealed. The player will be able to shoot a charge into the fissures, and if the player fails to hit the fissure correctly, then the charge will simply bounce off. However, once the charge is successfully inside the fissure, there will then be a time to detonate. Within this time frame, the player will need to deploy additional charges into other fissures around the same asteroid. These would all then be synced to detonate at the same time. Once the timer reaches 0, then the charges will all detonate. Now, fissures do have a quality rating that will affect the strength of the detonations. However, if the charge is powerful enough, it will break open the asteroid, and if it's too weak, then it will not break open the asteroid and instead it will damage the fissures. Now, it seems that this is likely to be the most dangerous form of mining. It's very important to pay attention because a powerful detonation actually has an area of effect explosion, and getting caught inside of this will cause damage to your ship. However, there will be like a preview overview that will tell you the potential blast radius, so you'll be able to move outside of that before the detonation actually occurs. It's also possible to be hit by parts of the asteroids as they break away, so you do have to be very careful. Some of these parts are absolutely massive. So deep core mining will contain the highest value rewards and will drop multiple items. So this is essentially what we know right now. Basically, it's a breakdown of how each form of mining will actually work. Personally, I'm really pleased to see that Frontier are moving away from RNG and towards a skill-based gameplay. This is something that people have been asking for a very, very long time now. It does of course remain to be seen if these methods of mining are going to be a bit too much on the minigame side, and that is a bit of a potential concern for me. However, that said, the deep core mining does sound as though it will likely require a fair amount of player skill, not only for firing the charges directly into the fissure, but also for being able to quickly reposition the ship within a limited time frame in order to fire an additional charge. Now, on another note, Frontier also confirmed that they want to extend this skill-based gameplay towards exploration, and this is why they've opted for the new exploration probe route. Of course, players who don't want to use this don't have to and can instead rely on the existing tools, but they will then miss out on the new rewards if they choose to do this. The same will be for mining, I do believe, as well. Another interesting thing we got to hear about today was a small piece of information, and that is regarding unidentified signal sources. Now right now, this is probably my single biggest beef with the game. At the moment, signal sources all spawn at random. Now, although Frontier have said that this potential change isn't guaranteed, they did say it is something they're working towards and trying to get into the game. Essentially, what they want is for the discovery of unidentified signal sources to be more deterministic, and this would mean using a variety of tools and skill in order to locate specific signal sources. So I, for one then, really hope that this change actually goes ahead. It would be a fantastic change for the game. Anyway, that's what we know about mining so far, and if you're interested in checking out the full feedback thread for mining, and if you'd like to leave your thoughts and feelings for the developers to read, then do take a look at the link below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.